Hi and welcome to this episode of You're in Focus. I'm going to let you into a little secret. This is about take 7. I keep getting so far and then going, no, that won't work. Anyway, welcome to this week. It's almost live. It's not actually live, as you can tell, because it's not being live streamed. I do intend to do the live streaming again when I can, but it's a bit tricky because the house isn't always quiet, and the quiet times in the house don't necessarily match up with the times when people might be able to view. And so it's a bit pointless doing a live stream for interacting with other people if there's no one else watching. So I've got to try and work that out. But I did really enjoy the live stream that I did a couple of weeks ago, even though it was a bit of a car crash. It was very enjoyable. So I do intend to do that again. Anyway, moving on. I've got a couple of things to say before we get started. First of all, I want to say good luck to Chris Sale. Chris, if you don't know who Chris is, then he is a landscape photographer based in the Lake District. Really good guy, really good photographer, really nice guy. I've met him a few times. Really nice guy. And in the last couple of weeks, he has actually gone full time. So he was working for Sky, I believe, and he's jacked that in, and he's gone as a full-time landscape photographer, which is a rather brave move, in my opinion. I was chatting to a couple of guys on Saturday about it. It's in this climate, in this day and age. I think in any climate, it's difficult to make it full-time as a landscape photographer and actually make any money out of it. But being honest, if anyone can make money out of it, if anyone can be a success, then I think it's going to be Chris, because he's such a good guy. He comes across to me as very thorough, a lot of attention to detail. I'd imagine if you went on a workshop with him, you would get full value for money, and his images are pretty good as well. So good luck, Chris. I'm sure you're going to be an absolute success, and if there's anything I can do to help you along, then just give me a shout. Also, I want to say as well, while I was out on Saturday morning, I went to Cove Hythe. The video is out if you want to watch it. Fantastic morning, beautiful conditions. Tricky place to shoot though, but really fantastic conditions. I was out with Darren Knight and Jamie Overland, and Darren has got some prints now available being displayed in a local shop in Ely where he works. It's a tattoo studio. It's called Almost Angels. So if you are interested in getting any of Darren's prints, and they are fantastic, can I just say, then why not pop along? Maybe get a tattoo at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone. But if you get the chance, pop along to there. Almost Angels, it's called. I'll stick a link in the description. But yeah, he's got some fantastic prints available there, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy as well. I really hope that they are successful and sell really well. So yeah. Now that's out of the way, what else do I want to talk about? I went to the Photo Nerds live thing on, when was that? About a week and a bit ago, which was interesting. I may talk about that a little bit later. Interesting. I've been to Hardcastle Crags to take some images with, sorry, not images, I don't like saying that, to take some photos with Carl Pennington, who's a nice guy. He's not a vlogger or anything like that, he's just a photographer. He's a good photographer. And yeah, that'll be out next week, I think, as well as a video where I'm going to show you how I edited one of the images. So that might be of interest, it might not. Anyway, before we actually move on to the main part of this week, I just want to sort of tie up last time's subject, which was what was it? That's a good question. Which was what things about vloggers or vlogging annoy you? And after the live stream, now I had a few comments, so let's just go run through those comments just to tie up the subject. Tony Blackwell says the things that annoy him: bad audio, poor quality imagery that's promoted as good, and the always annoying Squarespace ads. I should also mention poor choice in soundtracks that do not fit the theme or are too loud in the background are a big negative. He says, I don't mind the workshop promotions so long as it doesn't encompass the majority of the video. He makes some very good points there. I think that poor audio really kills a video. Your video footage can be shaky and not quite great, but poor audio, people will switch off. So the first thing that I would recommend if I was talking to any new vloggers is get yourself a decent audio input, whether that be a lav mic or an on-camera mic with the big, with the big old muffs on them. Get yourself something decent, because audio is really important. What else have we got down here? Andy Beatty, he says, my biggest pet hates are when people rant about something but are one of the biggest culprits of what they are ranting about. Could apply to me possibly, I don't know. But also when they disagree with a video or a comment and they attack the commenter either publicly or privately. I know you've experienced that yourself, and so have I. And clickbait titles. People are people. If you make a comment that someone disagrees with, that sometimes they're gonna attack you, and it's I don't know. It's difficult, but it's part of life, I think, and learning to deal with that sort of thing is probably good for you anyway. So, clickbait titles. Can't lie, I've started to ever so slightly do that a little bit myself. Not a good thing really, because I was really anti it, but I try not to put anything in unless it's actually in the vlog. But for instance, I know that London street photography does quite well, so my last vlog was from Peterborough, and I put something like, it might not be London street photography, but it's still okay because London street photography is mentioned. So it's kind of playing the game. I'm not sure whether it's something that I really approve of, but I'm doing it myself now, so that goes back to number one, when people rant about something. One of the biggest culprits. So yeah, guilty on that. What else have we got here? MD says, I'm surprised that the thing that annoys me the most wasn't mentioned, but then perhaps that's because so many seem guilty of it. Research. When visiting somewhere, look it up before, check the car parking, look on the maps to see how close the car parks are to a destination and when they're open and closed. If you're going to a seaside, check the timetables. We have this wonderful resource called the internet. There is no need to buy sets of tables or make copious phone calls. It can also be sourced at the touch of a button. For me, this ignorance spoils many a vlog. I just don't understand why the basics are not resolved before arriving at a destination. Oh, and one more thing, with saving the planet being the latest fad, perhaps all vloggers should put their tick list of destinations to one side and explore their local patch. Again, good comments. I am guilty sometimes of going out without researching. If you know long in advance, if you've got a list of where you want to go and you know long in advance where you're going to go, then I get the whole research thing. There's no excuse for not doing it. But sometimes things just happen on the spur of a moment, or plans change. So you're going to go somewhere and then suddenly the weather's awful and you think, well, I've still got the free time and I want to go out and vlog. So circumstances change. So I kind of get that, but yeah, sometimes it can't be avoided. As for saving the planet, yeah, it's a good point. But I don't know. I don't want to sound too what's the word? Too blasé about it. But I like going places. I like going and photographing places that I want to photograph. So yeah, it's a tough one, that. Anyway, thanks so much for the comments. Really appreciate them. Let's move on to this week's subject, which was vloggers or vlogs that inspire you.
Hello. Well, this time round, Gary's asked us to suggest vloggers or vlogs that inspire us. And that's a really tough question to answer in my case, because there are so many and I'd hate somebody to be offended at being left out. So pretty much, my list of about the 150 people to whom I subscribe are all inspirational in some way or another. But if I'm really hard pressed on this question, actually there are a couple of instances that do spring out for me personally. One of the things that I particularly like when I'm watching YouTube videos is where somebody's made a real effort to tell a story or really bring you into what they're seeing, convey the atmosphere of their shoot by means of really well thought out and high production values. And those are the things that specifically have inspired me to work harder to try and produce more cinematic, and I'm not a big fan of that word, but you know, you kind of know what I mean by it, cinematic videos. So the head and shoulders person that stands above all others for me personally in this respect, and the one person who I've watched his videos and thought I absolutely must try and do that, is Simon Byrne. Simon's production is absolutely superb. I first met him in Keswick at a meetup at Derwentwater, and I didn't know who he was, and so I looked at his channel after that to find out more about him, because he's a very pleasant chap, and I was absolutely blown away. Why Simon hasn't got six figures, 100, 200,000 subscribers, God only knows. And if you haven't checked him out yet, please do so. He is an incredible filmmaker. And I've got another one to throw into the mix. And Gary, if you dare edit this bit out, I'll be very cross with you. When Gary started doing his street series, he took his video production to another level as well. Some of his production values, where he's really bringing you into the atmosphere of the place, the amount of time and trouble that goes into achieving that just for a simple platform of a YouTube video, hats off to you, Gary. That has been truly inspirational to me, and don't you dare leave that bit out. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to see what everybody else have got to say about their inspirational vlogs and vloggers.
Hi Gary, and welcome to the Brecon Beacons. First things first, congratulations on your live video last week. Absolutely loved it. It was a bit chaotic at the start, but I think you pulled it round in the end, so absolutely great job, and I look forward to seeing more of those. I've got 3 inspirational vloggers for you. My first one is a German gentleman called Matthew Stern, and what he does is make lenses for his current cameras from old cinema equipment and projectors. So I suggest go and have a look at those. I love them. What he does is goes into the centre of Berlin and films in the zoo or the parks, making little B-roll videos with those, and the colour grading that comes through those lenses is it can't be replicated, I don't think, so it's perfect, absolutely beautiful. Number 2 is a British collective of vloggers that run through one channel, and the channel's called Negative Feedback. What they like to do is they're into their street photography and doing their photo shoots with models, but they're not shooting digitally. Most of the time they're using 35mm medium format or Polaroid cameras, and I think they're keeping certain camera companies in business, to be honest, with the amount of film they're using for those, so they're good to watch. And number 3 is a vlogger from across the pond in the USA, and he goes by the name of Jacob the Carpetbagger, and what he likes to do is visit roadside attractions and old theme parks and see what they got to offer. Some of those videos are funny, you know, going to the old 70s museums and things like that, and they've still got their exhibits there which are a bit outdated, but he makes it fun, and it's always a good watch. So that's my 3. Look forward to seeing more videos from you, Gary. See you soon.
A YouTube channel which I found of a real inspiration to me when I first started out in photography is a channel called Destructive Pixels, and this is hosted by Craig McCormick, a landscape photographer, really nice, genuine person, really enthusiastic about photography, and it really was a real help and inspiration for me to go out and get the photographs that I wanted to take.
Well, my shout out goes to a fellow East Anglian landscape photographer and vlogger, John Gibbs. Now, you may know John Gibbs, he's quite well known in the landscape photography community, but he's only been vlogging for 4 to 5 months, and his style and his personality really shines through in his vlogs, and his humour is great as well. He does make me laugh. but his images are great. So he takes a lot of his images in Norfolk. He lives near the Broads, and he spends a lot of time up on the coast, in the marshes and the dunes, and he is a master of the dunes. And yeah, it's just, his work is just so simple but effective, and he's inspired me to get out more, certainly to North Norfolk, take advantage of those dunes and the marshes around there, and try and recreate some of the images that John's so successfully creating. His simplicity is the bit I like. Some of the abstract work that he does is fantastic. So let's take a look at John's work here.
This actual part of Winterton, or Winterton Dunes system, the nature reserve here, is my favourite. It is gorgeous. I take this view so many times during the year. It's an absolute beaut at the moment. I mean, look at that heather behind. Absolutely gorgeous. I know we haven't got any direct light on it. I was having such a while of a time where I was, that the sun now is behind sort of heavy cloud. I may get a tiny little show of it in a minute, and I think I may have managed to get one in here very quickly before I then did this piece for you. But we shall see. But it doesn't really matter. Subtle light is fantastic. Hopefully those clouds might take a little bit of colour. I can use all these wonderful colours here in the foreground, and I've got now beautiful purple in the midground, because sometimes that area of heathland throughout the year can be a little bit monotonous, but at the moment it's just absolutely wonderful. And those little trees in the middle of it, the green punching out of the purple, looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm a happy boy. And as a bonus, in my camera bag, I forgot I put a boost. This really is a wonderful moment, and I'm going to enjoy this boost. But first, a little bit of photography. Boosty, boosty, boo.
So there you go. My vote goes to John Gibbs. Take a look at him on YouTube.
The people that inspire me to vlog every week are not the people who've got 100, maybe 200, maybe 1 million subscribers, but it's the people that go out week in, week out, may have only a very small follower base, but they go out and make those videos because they love the art of photography. They love going out making videos, and you know, they might only get maybe 100 views, but they still go out and make a video every week because it's something they love doing, it's something they love enjoying doing, and it's a real inspiration to everybody, and they're the people that inspire me to make new videos.
So thanks very much for everyone who contributed to that piece there. It's amazing really, because there are several vloggers that were mentioned on there that I'd never heard of before I watched that, and I watch an awful lot of vlogs. An awful lot of vlogs from an awful lot of vloggers, so it just goes to show how many there are out there, and how many inspiring ones that you could miss if you're just not, you just don't come across them, because I think oftentimes people come across vloggers by accident on YouTube. So yeah, it just goes to show. I nearly cut the bit out with David, I nearly edited it out. I thought I better not, because I don't want to upset David. He looks a bit mean at times, doesn't he? You don't want to upset him too much. And I would also say that I agree, I think, with Mike Chesworth. The vloggers and the vlogs that inspire me are the ones from the smaller channels, where they just go out, every week or often, and just do it for the love of it. You can see from the vlogs that they're not doing it necessarily for the fame or for the money, or they're just doing it because they love it. And it's really telling that a lot of people come into this. I mean, when I started, there's a lot of people started around the same time as me, and some who started after me, and they're packed in now, because sometimes I get it, there are some guys who I miss who have stopped because I think of their family life or just circumstances, but there are a number who came in really sort of big, and I'm going to show you how to do this, and here's 101 things to learn about photography, and check out my photography courses, and they've stopped. They've realized that it's not an easy win. You can't just turn up, vlog, and get 100,000 subscribers overnight. It's hard, and you've got to love it. You've got to love what you do, because if you don't, it shows through and people just won't watch it. So, but the smaller vlogs, I really enjoy watching those. The people like Mike, people like Rob Alton, Ben McDonald, those guys, you know, you can see that they do it for the love of photography and not because they want to be big famous YouTube millionaires. And yeah, it's really enjoyable to watch. So the eagle-eyed among you may be able to spot that this piece I'm doing right now was filmed at a slightly different time from the rest of the video. The lighting's different for a start, but the reason I did this is because I completely forgot to mention what the subject of the next video is going to be when I want you guys to send your videos in to me, and that is going to be what is the best piece of advice you've been given about photography and the worst piece of advice that you've been given about photography. Now you can either do one or the other or both. I'd imagine that the best piece of advice will be really useful for all of us, but the worst piece of advice might be the most humorous for all of us. So please feel free to send in all of your pieces of advice. There's a reason for this, which I will go into in the next vlog or the next You're in Focus. But until then, yeah, if you could get them sent in to me, that'd be fantastic. I'll put a link below to my Dropbox account. Also, if you want to send them over by WeTransfer, feel free. My email address is gary@rephotography.photography. Again, I'll put the link in below. Please send them in. You guys make this video. It's your videos that really make this video. They're nothing without you. So please send them in. I'd really appreciate it. So that's your best piece of advice that you've been given and the worst piece of advice that you've been given about photography. So I haven't got a vlog of the week or of the period this week. I haven't really seen one that's really jumped out at me. I mean, there's been lots of high quality vlogs, but nothing that's really jumped out at me. So maybe I'll hand that over to you guys. Maybe you could recommend vlogs to me. So for next time, why don't you, in the comments, or if you want to send in a video, tell me your favorite vlogs recently or favorite vlog recently and why, and then we can have a look at it together, because I'm really struggling. There was a couple that came out that were very good. There was one from Adam Russell, Wager Catcher, which was about mental health, which I found very interesting, and there was another one by Mikey McManus. I hope it's Mikey, it could be Mickey, but I'm sure it's Mikey, which was very interesting, about making a bit of money out of the work that he does, and how to go about being a good person in business. That was quite an interesting one. But other than that, there's been lots of good ones, but nothing that's really stood out. So that'll be back next week or next time, once you guys have got to me and told me a decent vlog for me to go and watch. Let's have a look now at my 5 favourite images from a photographer. And this week it's or this time, I can't stop saying this week, this time it's Alan Cole's. So let's have a look at some of Alan's work. Now I just want to say that I could have picked any number of images here from his Flickr feed. It is absolutely amazing. I would say that Alan puts a lot of photographers to shame. His images are absolutely stunning, and this Flickr feed is all black and white, and honestly I just love it. I love everything about it. I think it's absolutely like phenomenal, beautiful, fantastic work. So this is the first image here. I just love it. I mean, I'm gonna spend now sort of 5 minutes like just waxing lyrical about everything on here, and it's going to sound like I'm a bit of a fanboy, but my god, it's just beautiful. The lines in the sand leading you up to the human interest, gorgeous. The sky, just beautiful and dramatic. Everything about it, just absolutely stunning shot. I just love it. I just think it's amazing. So that's the first pick. And they're all this good. They're all this good. Just amazing. So that's the first one. Let's have a look at the second one now. Again, just beautiful, beautiful light, gorgeous. Just, I love it. It's just the sunlight streaming down, the waterfall, the softness of it, the trees, the atmosphere. it's just the atmosphere on this one, really, I think is absolutely gorgeous, just beautiful, really great work, and he's captured it really well. Now, I watched the vlog actually that he did for this one, and it's just, I'm really pleased that the picture just does the place justice. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love this one. Love the waterfall in the background. I love the sunlight. I love the waterfall in the foreground. I just love everything about it. Just a great shot. Again, just now I'm assuming that this one is it's either an early morning misty sunrise or a night shot with the moon. I can't quite work out which one it is. If I was going to bet, I would say it's an early morning sunrise shot, but it's just great. I just love the atmosphere in it. Again, I love the fact that you've got the lovely sharp foreground leading off to a much softer background. I love the positioning of the sun or the moon. I think it's the sun. I love the 3 trees. It's actually 4 trees, but 3 distinct groups of trees that just, works so well. It's just balanced beautifully. It's just a great shot. It's just a really, really good shot. The leading line of the pathway wandering through the image, and the sort of the ridge, if you like, leading off to the left. It's just taking you to that final tree. It's just beautiful. Just a beautiful shot. Really, really gorgeous. This one, just again, absolutely fantastic. The only thing I will say about Alan's work is I don't like the key lines, the massive white key line around the outside. But other than that, that's just a personal preference. But God, this one's great as well. It's a little blown out by the sun, but then what the hell, it's going to be blown out. You've got a massive bright sun shining through a tree, but look at the shadows. Look at the shadows of the tree sort of pulling towards you. Look at the crispness of those details in the tree, and it's silhouetted beautifully against that sky, and the way that it's all just been composed with the shadows coming out to both of the bottom corners. It's just another phenomenal shot. I just love it. Just Alan's work, honestly, he should be selling this. He should be selling this stuff. It's just beautiful, really, really beautiful. And this is the final one, and I keep going through them, and when I was looking through them, and I could have done this, there was several other shots that he'd taken as well on his Flickr feed. I'm like, no, that's my favourite. No, wait, that's my favourite. No, I actually think this one's my favourite. This is my favourite shot that he's done. It's just got everything, hasn't it? It's got really dramatic dark sky. It's got beautiful contrast in the sky where it's lighter on the right hand side and dramatic and dark on the left. It's got sharpness in the front with those with that corn or wheat, or don't ask me whether it's wheat or corn, you know me. Well, wheat, I think. Fantastic sharpness in the front, the leading lines going through it with the plough lines or the lines of the tractors, the 2 trees on the right hand side that just really balance the image out beautifully with this hedge on the left. It's just the tone, the atmosphere, the clouds. It's just amazing. It's just such a beautiful shot. I think that's my favourite of his. I could look at his work all day long. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. You've got to agree with me, really, but surely. Just absolutely stunning work. So I'll put a link below to Alan's Flickr gallery, and I'll also get him to start a little web shop up, because my God, he could be selling these prints. They are absolutely stunning, and I'm sure that you agree. So there you go. I hope you really enjoyed me going through that as much as I enjoyed looking at the images. Well, I hope you agree with me there that there were some fantastic images, and like I said, all of Alan's stuff on his Flickr feed is just amazing. So well worth a visit. Well worth a visit. Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to talk about my vlogger of the week, or vlogger of the week. I keep saying week. Vlogger of the period, new vlogger, someone for you to check out. His name is Wayne Lorimer, and here's his video.
Well, hi Gary, kia ora from New Zealand, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about my channel. and to explain to a wider audience what I'm trying to do on YouTube. I guess my channel is all about where I live. It's all about me as a landscape photographer in the west coast of the South Island of New Zealand. The beautiful surroundings that I have, that I'm lucky enough to live amongst and photograph. We've got amazing coastlines, beautiful lakes, incredible rainforests. I guess when you think of movies like The Lord of the Rings, which showcase the incredible diverse scenery that we have in New Zealand, that's, I guess, what I'm trying to bring across in my photography YouTube channel. I've been a photographer for over 30 years and an educator for a lot of that time, so I guess I also see my channel as a way of educating and inspiring other photographers to get out there and enjoy nature, enjoy the landscape, and try and capture that on digital or film or whatever it might be that you're using. And I also suppose that I follow a lot of UK based landscape vloggers, and there weren't many locally in my area, and certainly not that many in New Zealand, so I decided that it was something that I could do to showcase the incredible scenery that we have here on the west coast of the South Island in New Zealand. So again, thanks for the opportunity. I look forward to doing some more things in the future with you, and I also look forward to having people come on board with me, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully join me over the next few months and years as I vlog in this gorgeous part of the world. So thanks again, and haere rā from New Zealand.
So when I looked at Wayne's channel and realised he's only got, like, I can't remember what it's, about 12 subscribers or something crazy, I was like, why? How's this guy got so few subscribers? I don't know whether it's because he didn't promote himself so well, or whether it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe he's just a bit unlucky. But I know, again, it's not England. I know he's in New Zealand. I know it's a bit alien perhaps to us, but you know, well worth the watch. Well worth the watch and the sub. So, you know, go check Wayne out. Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. His vlogs are decent, his photos are decent, you know, no reason not to get him up to the 100 subscriber mark, that's what I say. So go check Wayne out, and I'm sure you'll enjoy his vlogs. Okay, so now let's talk about the charity video that I've got in this episode. This is Jim Moody, who's going to show you a video. Now, I warn you in advance that there is a little bit of bad language, but I'm not going to cut it out because it's important. So it's only a small amount, so please watch this.
Hi, I've organised a massive charity fundraising event being held at the Tivoli venue in Buckley, North Wales on the 12th of October 2019. The purpose of the event is to raise vital funds for North East Wales Mind and to raise awareness of depression, mental health issues and the prevention of suicide amongst men. 84 men in the UK alone lose their lives to suicide every single week. 84. That's 12 men per day. It's one man every 2 hours. That is wrong. Very fucking wrong. To put it in context, for the time you'd enjoy watching a couple of films, 2 desperate men have killed themselves. That's 2 sons, 2 fathers, brothers, husbands, uncles and friends. It's ordinary guys like you and I. It's got to stop. It has got to stop. Fellas, if you're struggling at the moment, but you're doing it in silence, don't. Speak up. Talk. Break down and cry, but for God's sake, ask for help. Because believe me, it takes a far bigger and stronger man to do so than it does to hide it all away. What qualifies me to say that? Well, on the 10th of December 2012, I joined the queue along with 11 other desperate men who had decided to end their lives that day. I was lucky. Suicide is an option, but opting to open up and talk and ask for help, that is your way forward. Because let me tell you, dead is forever. I understand the importance of opening up and talking now, and I encourage you to do the same. Together we're strong, and together on the 12th of October, we will help end that stigma. And together moving forward, we will fuck depression. So please share this video, share the details of the event, and encourage your friends to attend. Every penny of the ticket sales will be going to North East Wales Mind, and you never know, you might just help save somebody's life. Thank you.
Well, that's a very powerful video, I'm sure you'd agree, and a very worthy cause. As you know, I've released vlogs before about mental health. I was talking about Wajakachu, who released one recently, and mental health within men is a really big issue, and it's something that we don't talk about enough. It's something that we don't let out when we're feeling down. I mean, thank the gods I've never got to the stage where I've ever felt suicidal, but I can only imagine what that must be like, and how important it is, if you're feeling that, to tell somebody, to talk about it, because the thing is, like Jim says, you know, there is no coming back from it. If you kill yourself, you can't come back from that. And oftentimes people who contemplate suicide or even attempt suicide further down the line are living, you know, fantastic lives, and you rob that from yourself if you actually go through with it and succeed. So please, you know, talk to someone about it, and if you're interested in that event, if you want to give any money towards that cause, then I'll put all the details in the description below. But yeah, again, I apologise for the language in it, but I felt that it was really necessary to keep it in. And thank you, Jim, for sending that in. It's and I hope that it gets shared. So, you know, please feel free to share that video as much as you can. And remember, the date is the 12th of October. So again, details below. Thank you so much for watching. Anyway, I think that's it. Don't forget to get me your videos in for next time's discussion, which is what's the best and probably more interestingly, the worst piece of advice that someone's given you regarding photography. Please, you know, get your videos in. I really appreciate it. You can send them to me via the link below. You can also send them to me on WeTransfer to Gary at rephotography.photography. But please get them in. They make this video. It's you guys who make this video. So please get your stuff in. I really appreciate that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week. Please, you know, check out Wayne's channel, check out Alan's Flickr feed, have a look at Jim's details for the charity event, and until next time, I'll see you again soon.